Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies coming to you with Deanston Virgin Oak. It's a Highland whiskey.
72 virgins?
That are NAS.
Yep. Let's test it.
Test it! All right, here we go. Deanston.
Deanston Virgin Oak. This is the non-age statement.
Yes, so it's an NAS.
Now I'll tell you, our liquor store that we frequent, Auburn Spirits, had this, and they have the Deanston 12 year. I think that's the ones that we have on the shelves here.
They went with a weird unchill filtered rather than non-chill filtered.
Yeah. And they had them both open. I got to sample them in the store one day. And I actually, if I remember right, I preferred this one over the 12 year, and I bought this one for us to do a show on.
Well, yeah, and I was also...
Just from the small sample that I tried. Now, if we had them side by side or did it again...
I know we'll get into it later, but it was very reasonably priced, if I remember right.
Yeah.
So
$35 to $40, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, we'll get into it later, but that was that was a good thing for a tasting in your store. I was like, wow, this is... I expected maybe not so much, and was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
So, what do you get... nosing. Let me find my notes. By the way, we will spend time with the spirit well before we review it, and then we'll look at our notes right now as we're trying it again. And I should have cued these, so you go ahead because I got to find mine.
In that great filing system.
I usually do have a good filing system.
Mine's right here by name. I just pull it up.
Boom.
Got it. You ever see me looking for my notes?
No, you're very well put together.
I get a sweet citrus. It's very malty. That malt stands out, and someone's calling you.
That had to happen, right? Well, I declined it.
Did you find your notes? Keep looking.
Yes, just you're good.
Pear. I get a slight pear, and an oakiness.
Yeah, I get rising bread. A little bit of that pear fruit citrus, but then that smell of that warmth. You know, there's some bread baking in the oven, and there's more rising up above the stove is what I get.
It is rising. It's
rising.
Now, real quick though, it is non-chill filtered.
That smells great.
No colorant added, and if you can see, it's a very kind of a bright gold, pale yellow color.
Yes.
And what the deal is now with the virgin oak, I had assumed it was aged exclusively in virgin oak. No. It's, according to Deanston, these are young whiskeys that are married together, and then they are finished off in virgin oak. So they do have a spell where they're probably aged in prior filled bourbon casks.
Yes.
And then put into virgin oak.
Right. As a finishing technique, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
Because one of the reasons Scotch in particular uses prior fill is that a lot of the oak, the American oak barrels that are used with bourbon, that's a very strong, intense flavor. And when they get them after their prior fill, some of those tannins and things have been withdrawn from them already. It mellows them a little bit. And I believe, me personally, is what gives Scotch whiskey a lot of its complexity. So it was very, very interesting to me when we learned that this is recast into virgin oak to maybe spice it up a little bit. And I find that quite interesting, and I love the flavor.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's one of the stipulations for bourbon is that they can only use a cask one time. And then they can't use it. They can't refill a cask. Because that first fill pulls out so much flavor from the wood.
Right.
So when Scotch is generally aged, most time they're using those prior filled ones where most of the flavor's already been pulled out. They add a little bit of that bourbon flavor in there with it,
and it makes this Deanston's delicious. I'm telling you, you get a multi-grain flavor, but it's subtle, it's rounded. And then it's sweet, and it's got this
candied,
like this beautiful candiness wrapped in there with that cereal malt. Let me get a drop too from you.
46.3%.
For being a no age statement, it doesn't have any of that youthful harshness to it at all.
Right.
I couldn't even put a guess on how old this is. What do you think? 6 years?
Oh no, I'd hazard a guess it's older than that. I'd hazard a guess since they have a 12-year-old, but then they go with an NAS. I mean, I'm thinking 8 to 10, but it tastes like a 12-year-old.
I'm telling you, I was shocked. I mean, right on here, they got finished in virgin oak, and I thought, wow, what's that going to do? Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it really changes it up, and I'm simply amazed and pleased with this.
There's a very light, I've got tangerine, kind of a real light citrusy, tropical citrus.
Especially after I add the drop of water. It's on the nose and it's on the flavor. Boy, the water mellows it slightly. It maintains that rounded cereal maltiness. And a touch of still that bread, that baker's bread. Mm-hmm. And I love that.
I think that's the maltiness.
Yeah.
Not like a rye baker's bread.
No.
Right.
My mom, around the holidays, would make these gigantic cinnamon rolls, homemade cinnamon rolls. And I have very fond memories of coming home. We lived up in the high mountains, above 10,000 feet in Colorado. And I would come home from school, and I would smell those cinnamon rolls baking, and then that raw dough. And I get a doughy bread flavor and nose from this. And I love it. I love it. Wow.
I noticed you put out a troll with this for some reason. That's not a Scotch test dummy.
It's not, but
it's a troll with bright orange hair.
Trolls were big in the 90s. And this was, I believe I was in the Army when I got this. You don't have any trolls?
I never bought a troll, and I lived through the 90s.
I love
Where were
the
they
trolls
big?
Throughout the world.
Really?
They were. They were huge. It was the crazy hair, and you could get them in like any job, any field, and they just boom, boom, boom. And this one has the fire hair, and he's in desert camo. I believe this is 1992.
Now, the reason I only talk about the troll is because you do a board game show in front of your game case, right?
Bonding with board games, that's correct.
Your massive bookcase that's full of board games.
Right, it's my backdrop.
And
it's
your
my
wife
wall
wanted
of
to put a
games.
plant in
Yeah,
there,
a
vase or something, and you wouldn't let her.
Right.
Because that's your show.
Yes.
That's your backdrop.
Right.
So we do our show, and in our backdrop, besides whiskey, we've got
It's full of my youth.
footballs, we've got trolls,
Denver Bronco.
we've got Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels. Those
We've
were
got
mine.
Star
from when I was a
Wars
kid.
toys, a coffee mug
Yep, 1988.
from 1988.
I got that my
class of
graduating
88.
year. Yep, that's high school
We
graduation.
got hats and wigs,
The hats are part of the show. No wigs.
but
No
no
wigs.
plant.
No plants. We don't need anything else living on this set other than you and I. Is that the secret topic?
Yeah.
Really? Now, just to point out, here's something my boy doesn't do. My Matchbox cars, I kept them in that case, and when I was done playing with them, they went back in the case. Star Wars figures in the Star Wars case, double tiered. When I was done playing, back in the case. My boy's stuff's all over the place.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. By the way, my original Han Solo gun, that gun has been drawn 100,000 times. Love that gun.
So
Would
the
you
bookcase,
score
though,
this?
for the board games is untouchable. It's only board games, right? You don't have trolls over there. You don't have...
There is a statue of
Coffee
a World War
cups.
II sergeant over there.
You don't
From
have...
Michael Garman Gallery.
You don't have goofy stuff out over there. Why do we got goofy stuff in our backdrop?
I had to make it more friendly for you. I had to goof it up a little bit. That's what had to happen.
88, I gave it.
Huh. I was just going to say 88's great. And
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's where my
Class
deal.
of 88.
Class of 88. I'm going to go. I'm moving it up one. Yes. I had 88. I'm going to 89. The breadiness, the doughiness is really, really, I had that in my notes,
With the
but
sweetness.
it really pulled me in.
Now, I can tell you, too, I can see right here, it is a little bit cloudier now that we added water, which is a product of the non-chill filtration. When you add the water, it makes it cloudy. Now, to our new topic, is it worth it? $35 to $40 range.
Hell yes. For that price, I mean, this is just tasty, tasty, tasty. And I want more of this. We need to get the 12. I mean, I don't know if it's going to have that same flavor profile. When I first read on here that it's finished, so it's a finishing in a virgin oak, I thought, that's going to be probably too powerful. Because I always hear that the virgin oak is just, it releases so many tannins. But they're finishing. So what did they leave it in there? A couple months?
Yeah,
I'm
it doesn't say
amazed.
so.
I am just amazed by it for the price that you get it for, and that it's an NAS. This is flavorful. This is flavorful, and that's what I want from my whiskeys.
I agree. It is worth it. Also.
Yeah.
And great explanation. I'm not going to expand on that anymore, and I will point out that they even put the ingredients on the back. So the ingredients of this here Deanston Virgin Oak is water, malted barley, and yeast.
Bam. That's called simple perfection, is what that is. Simple perfection.
And they're being open. They're being transparent.
Disclosure.
That's right.
Transparent. Now, we have, I don't know if you've got it pulled up, but we had a YouTube comment. We love our comments, and anything unique, oftentimes we will reference. And we had one from a guy whose handle, his nickname is Dominica TV show.
Dominicana
TV
show on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
One of our older videos, E&J XO Brandy.
Right, we did a brandy deal. There was, every once in a while, we'll come in, we still need to do a cognac. Anything that's finished, we will come in, we've done the brandy, the sherry, the port wine, and we try them by themselves, just so we get a feel of what's imported or imparted upon the whiskey. What is Dominicana?
Dominicana?
Yes.
Dominicana TV show commented on E&J Brandy.
This is good.
I don't like E&J. It makes me feel tired and sad. So I replied.
Good.
Maybe you were tired and sad before you drank it.
Good point. If you come tired and sad and maybe even angry to your drink of choice, it only tends to amplify that.
That's true. That is true.
Although I will say that a good malt whiskey will sometimes make me do that after I get home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm home, I'm in base, I'm safe.
That exhale, that sigh of
relief and comfort. And I'll
sitting in your chair.
I don't even want TV on. Yeah, I'll just start some music. Sometimes Pandora, so it's random. I'm at the point where I don't even want to choose the tune. I just put Pandora on, pour a little bit of Deanston. Love it.
Cilantro. Dummies.
Scotch it. You Scotch gods. We went backwards there.
Cilantro.
Dummies.
I knew he was going to be doing that crazy shit.
Well, it should, really, rather than the same thing, shouldn't it? Because they've always been kind of different, haven't they? Haven't
Once
they always
in a while.
been? Yeah. Would you want
Once
the
in a
same
while
test
you
it?
do something.
Test it.
I knew when the guy commented that he liked your test it, and it was crazy that you'd start doing all kinds.
Shouldn't
of
it be
shit.
different though? Doesn't that make
No, it's just
cool?
test it.
Yeah,
that's what people are waiting for.
Well, don't they?
I think
like
every once in a while you just need a variance. That's okay. You
like
do what you
yodeling.
do.
I want like a test.
They like your test it. It's trademarked.
It's trademark
patented.
testing. Or is this part of the show? Is this all part of the show?
No.
Could be.
One more intro.
Oh, okay. I thought that could have been part of the show.